So just to get started, there's going to be kind of a lot of going back and forth. I'm going to go over a step and then show you exactly how to do that. So my step number one is connect applications. So this is something that's found within your settings. You can connect things like DocuSign, Facebook, Gmail, Twitter. My tip is to verify that your command email is correct, because if you're using smart plans, that's what your reply to email is going to be. So you don't want stuff like that to be going to the wrong email. This is one of those things, it just makes your life easier in the long run. So if you get all this, hey Tracy, if you get all of this connected at first, if you do decide to log in and you want to run a Facebook ad, you're not logging in and then having to connect this and then having to take all the extra steps. It's all done first thing. So if I go into command, wherever your profile picture is, if you don't have a profile picture, I believe it says your initials, you can drop down and go into settings. And then it is going to be these applications. So number one, I would get your DocuSign set up first thing, the second you get in command, because sometimes it can be a little testy, but get that set up. I have my Facebook set up, my Instagram, Google Calendar. Pretty much if there's anything in here that you can get connected, I have. I just like to kind of take care of that first. Twitter, color covered. I have my Gmail connect, or I don't have my Gmail connected, but you can connect your Gmail account. MailChimp, Twilio. So that's kind of it, but it really, what you do, you just click connect account, click OK if it gives you a confirmation, and it's going to pop up another screen where you just log in to whatever that is, and then it links the two. And then on here, when I mentioned verify that your command email is correct, you want to look for command email. And if you click manage, this is going to be what it shows as your sender name and then your reply to email. So if you send out a smart plan and they reply to it, this is what it's going to go to. If you drop down, you will kind of have other options and it'll show you where those come from, or you can add your custom email. So just make sure that's right. My screen sharing is in the way. Oh, okay. So like I said, super basic. But this is, and then you do have the option to go into the marketplace and look for other apps. Can you not see? So kind of just play around with this. It can be kind of fun. This is super, this should not be very threatening, and it's very easy. It's really just remembering your username and password, which is usually the hardest thing. So going on, number two, update your marketing profile. So this is in a very similar spot as your settings, but this is another thing. If you want to update your website or make a new page on your website, this kind of flows into that. So whatever information you put into your marketing profile, it's going to pull in. So make updates as needed. Keep an eye on this, because if this really isn't information that changes, but if it does, you want to make sure that you're keeping it updated. And then this is also where you can add your military affiliation. So still in the settings part, there's not another way to go to it. So if you're on the home page, you just have to drop down and go into settings. If you click marketing profile, you want to make sure that this is toggled on. And then, so your headshot, if you want to change it, this is where you can do that. If you have a team logo, they have the option to remove it. I added something one time, a long time ago, and they didn't have the option to remove it. So I was kind of stuck with it, but I can remove it now if I want to. So your name, license number, if you're on a team. So like if you were on a team and you change it, you probably want to go into this marketing profile and, just update that. Your professional job title, if you have a slogan, military affiliation. So if you are affiliated with the military, this is where you can designate that, and then it'll show up in your profile. Your bio, phone number, office number. This shouldn't look as wonky on yours, but it's just the computer screen. I really don't know why it's formatted like this, but our Market Center logo, and then this is all of our Market Center information. If you want to put any of your social media tags or your Google Analytics ID, if you use that, this is where it will go. So Another thing, super simple, but it does make a difference in the long run, because instead of, if I want to make a new page on my agent site, I'm not having to put in my name and my license number and my bio 17 times. It's already in here and it's going to import itself automatically. Number 3, this is probably the biggest one, add contacts. So we all have a database, even if you think that you don't. Yours just might be in a different location than somebody else's, but we all have phone contacts. We all have Gmail contacts. So if you know them, this is kind of the role they should be in your contact database. And I added be in the 201 Plus Club. This is kind of a new thing that Keller Williams is focused on, because there are studies shown that if you have 201 or more people in your database with the 4 pieces of info, name, email, phone number, physical address, it definitely makes an impact in your overall GCI. So obviously don't stop at 201, keep going, keep adding people. And I know that sounds like a lot. We all know 201 people if we really sit down and think about it. So adding them into your database is kind of, the difficult part, especially if you're starting over from that many people. There are ways to pull it from your phone. There are ways to export your Gmail contacts. If you are old school and have a spreadsheet, you can send them over to Scott Leroy and he will import them in for you. It's very easy. It's really just the hardest part is getting them exported. But Trisha and I are working on a 201 Plus Club class where we're kind of going to go into, if you have them in your contacts, how you can get that exported and then add it into Command. And it's actually very easy. So I recommend doing that. You have the option to use tags, and it's recommended, but not to overdo it. Using things like seller, buyer, past client, referral, that's kind of easy. But if you're kind of overdoing it, it can get very overwhelming very quickly. I mentioned best to have 4 pieces of info. Like I said, if this is stuff that you don't have, this is a great reason to reach out to these clients or contacts, database, whatever you want to call it, and have a conversation with them. And like I said, just reach out to them and they will get your contacts added in for you. So I'm going to go just back to the home page. And then your contacts is its own applet. So it is going to be the second one right here. And like you can see, I have 741. I don't think I know that many people, but apparently I do. So I know that you guys, this is your job. So 201 plus people. There is this import button. So you can use this. So if you have a pre-made command template file, it's going to be in an Excel. So you can do that if you already have them in a file. And then you can just upload it here. That's what I've done for most of mine. I've imported like our phone roster before and it's so easy. But if you're just adding one contact at a time, you just click add contact. Phone name is required, obviously. You want to have at least email or a phone number, if not both. Lead source. So if you want to keep track of where this lead came from, that's an option for you. Tags, you can create any custom tags that you want. So like agent, allied resource, bot, all of these kind of gray ones, they come kind of stock with the system. But like I added some people to my August Smart Plan and I wanted to keep track of that. So that's one I created myself. At one point when I was keeping up with the phone roster and my contacts, I was kind of keeping it divided by team. So I have the teams added. Really any tag that you want, you can add in here. You do have the option to add more information, so additional contact information. If they have another email, another phone number, their primary address. This is a big one because this can ultimately, if you put in their home address, it will populate them a neighborhood based on whatever their next door app neighborhood is. And then from there, it's very easy to add them to one of the neighborhood nurture smart plans. So if you want to keep track of their birthday, home anniversary, if they have a relationship or any of these, there's a time in here, you can put their name in here and then that will add them to your contacts as well. And then you can kind of tie the two of them together. Company name, job name. You also have custom fields. So I've created like budget, favorite restaurant, favorite sports team, pet name, just anything you want to keep track of with your clients. And then from here, you would hit create and they would be in your database. So the thing with this, keep in mind the main four: full name, email, phone number, primary address. And then I will show you kind of an easier way to do this, but that's just if you're sitting at your computer, on your iPad, whatever, and you have some free time, go in, add 5 contacts from your phone, add 10 contacts, whatever, and that will definitely build up your database pretty quickly. So any questions about like the contacts part? I realize this is a big deal. It's definitely something you want to keep track of. Okay, I'm going to go on to number 4, which is add your NERDS ID to DocuSign. So DocuSign has changed within the last, I believe, year that you have to have a NERDS ID entered in your preferences in order to access the NCAR forms. So you cannot have access to the forms without this, because this is what proves that you're a licensed agent. So if you're ever in DocuSign and you pull something in and it says no access beside your forms, that is an indication that this is something that you need to do. So I already have DocuSign pulled up, but if you want to go directly to ours, it's always going to be williams.docusign.com. That is going to tie it to your Keller Williams account. And up here at the top right, same thing, you'll either have a headshot or like initials. If you drop down and go into preferences, and then it's going to be under integrations. So you want to see this here, providers. You should all have company forms if you're tied with the account. If that's something that you don't have, send me an email. But if you're brand new, you probably don't have this National Association of Realtors. So to change that, you just add provider. It's going to be realtor. Let me see if I can play with this other one. Let's see, since I already have mine tied. It's going to pull up something like this. You're going to put in your NERDS ID, your last name, and then validate. So it also, I don't want to get rid of mine because I stole Trisha's for this, but it'll also have like a link to where you can search for your NERDS number if you need it. But once you have that validation and it's under here in the providers, you'll have access to the forms. So I can go into my rooms. Let me just open up a random one. And you can see like I can open the offer to purchase. If you didn't have this validated, it would open it. Well, it wouldn't really open it. It would pop up something red up here at the top that says you have no access to these forms. And then you would kind of be stuck. There's not really a way around that unless you have a NERDS number. And then if you are brand new, how you get that number, you join the association. I believe within 2 weeks, they email it to you. So if you are brand new and you don't have a NERDS number, I'm sure Katie has workarounds for you as to how you can have access to forms. And she kind of does it on your behalf. And that way you're not stuck just waiting that time period until you can use forms. So we're on number 5, download your KW apps. So there are 2 apps for you to download. One is your branded KW app. So this is the consumer app. There's also a KW command app. So this is what they look like. That's very small in here. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. So if you go to your app store and search Keller Williams Realty, this white KW buy and sell real estate is the consumer app. And then this red one is the KW command app. The KW consumer app. So this is what you share with your clients. I get this question a lot of the time. A lot of people email me and they're like, I don't know what's happening. I can't get into my consumer app. That's because this app is not for you. This is for your consumers. So your Keller Williams login will not work for this. You can, of course, make your own login. But if you log in, with your command credentials, it's not going to let you in. So that is this white one. And then, goodness. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna make this do the slideshow. Okay, So over on the left, this is what it actually looks like when you come to your home page. So I have mine searched to Fayetteville, and then it shows all of kind of the listings that are available based on the MLS. And it's not just Keller Williams listings, this is every listing in the MLS. I have a screen shared video of myself like playing on the app. I have this for both, so there's no sound with it. I'm going to kind of play it and pause it and kind of explain what I'm doing. So just kind of bear with me. We're going to play, maybe not. Okay, if it'll work here. Okay, this was working yesterday. Let's go on to the command app and see if that video will work. So the good thing with this, you can easily add contacts to your database, keep track of notifications, you can call and text directly from the app, and you can easily start opportunities. So this is very nice to have if you're out on the go and you need to add somebody to and easily create an opportunity. You can also share your KW app link, which is this app right here that's having some sort of technical difficulties.
So
yeah,
when you text from the app, does it text from our number or based on what we set up in there?
It will text from your phone number, whatever phone you're logged into. So if it use, the app on Tracy's phone and you log in, it'll text it from her phone.
Gotcha.
So if that makes sense, whatever phone. And that's the cool thing with this app. If you were to come in here and text, it's going to default to Twilio, but if you're using the app, it's going to default to your phone number. And same with if you were going to call somebody. So on the left, let me play this again. This is what the app looks like. So at the top, it's just a very condensed version of what you will see on the website, and it is handheld, so you can kind of do this on the go. And there's so much you can do in this app. So I really recommend downloading this and playing around with it because it's so helpful if you're not by a computer. So you can see your tasks up the top. It'll show you leads never contacted, which of your leads were recently active within the last 72 hours. So you can kind of see if anybody was poking around on your website. You can keep track of all of your open opportunities. And it'll tell you birthdays, anniversaries that are coming up, and then your profit share. I'm hoping this video will work. Okay, so same thing with this. I'm going to kind of play it a little bit and then pause it to explain. So you can see that I have the the two apps, the one in the middle you don't really need, but we're going to be opening up this red KW command app. And so this is my home screen. The same thing as what's over here. Okay. So what I did here, I clicked on notifications. So that's kind of one thing I didn't show you in command. Anytime you have a transaction and we message you in it, it's going to pop up in these notifications. So you'll have a little red dot, but that's something you can keep track of as well on your app. So it's kind of nice if you're waiting to get paid or if something was approved or denied. So you can see when I click over, I had a lot of opportunity or a lot of mentions. And the cool thing about this is once you dismiss them in the website version of command, you can't see them anymore. But these, you can see I have some older ones that are still hanging around, and I can kind of keep track of what my notifications were. Okay, so I clicked back over to the home screen. And I went into my open opportunities so I can see information about that opportunity. And then this is the big one. So I clicked over into this contacts. So this puts all 741 of my contacts in the palm of my hand. And I'll show you kind of some of what you can do with them. So this is me creating a new contact. So this is something you can do from your phone. You don't have to be near a computer. I opened up this contact and I'm showing you, there's a little plus button down here. So you can add activity, add a note, you can add them to an opportunity, add a task, or you can add them to a smart plan. And I think I go over add to opportunity and add to smart plan, so you can kind of see what both of those look like. So you would add them to an opportunity. And then this is adding them to a smart plan. So it pops up all of the smart plans in my library, and it's very easy to add them from there. What am I on now? Okay, so I clicked the email in her contact. So it's just popping up my email app on my phone, and I can send her an email very easily. And then the really cool thing about the app, anytime you click email, phone, text, as soon as you get back into the app, it's going to add, if you want to add this email, text, phone call, whatever, to the timeline. And that way, like if I were to call this person and we get off the phone and I hear they got a new puppy in December, they might be looking for a new house in February. That's something I can add into their timeline, and I can always go back and reference those notes. So it's a good way to keep track of people and kind of keep an eye on what's happening in their lives. But yes, so I can add a description about the email that I sent her. And then when I click text, it actually does it for my phone. So we're all looking at my texts right now, but that's a cool thing because most apps, they want to, they don't allow you to use your real phone number, but this allows you to actually contact your people using your own information. And then same thing, since I sent her a text, I can go in and I can add this in and add in just to keep track. And that's really the app. Definitely a good thing to get in and play with, especially if like the desktop command really freaks you out. This is a lot more user friendly. It's just the one thing, you can't really use DocuSign on your phone. I don't know that that's a feature that's ever going to come, but you can at least get the opportunity started. You can add in contacts, and it's a really good way to keep track of conversations that you're having. One thing I can't recommend more, an awesome outside resource, is the Marty Miller's 66-day command challenge. So he's actually doing round 7 right now. This has been going on forever, but he's on round 7, so you can really see how much command has changed. So this is set up, you're supposed to start from day 1, and it's supposed to last 66 days, and you watch a video every day for 66 days, and then at the end, you've kind of mastered command. I believe he's on, I'll click on this, but I believe he's on video like 50 something. So this one's almost wrapped up. So if you have extra time, you can get it through it quicker. And then I will put this in the chat in case you guys want to save this, but this should be linked to the playlist.
If you want to
Oh my gosh, I don't want you.
take full control of your sales pipeline,
So it starts on day 0. So this is resources and keys to success for learning KW command. And he is on day 55. So like let's see what day 1 was.
good morning, television.
Updating your marketing profiles. So that's something that we already talked about, but in 6 minutes and 55 seconds, he's going to show you how to do that. Once you're done with that,
Good morning, television.
learn about the KW command home screen. So he starts off very easy and very, not threatening. And then probably by, let's see what this one is.
Good morning.
So compliance status, adding offers, and requesting commissions. So that one is a little bit more advanced, but you can see over here, pretty much all of the videos are less than 10 minutes. If it's a longer one, it's probably something about doing a Facebook ad. If it's 10-minute one, viewing, assigning, and filtering for neighborhoods. So it's things that are just a little bit more time consuming, or obviously going to be longer. Filling out a DocuSign form and sending it off. But this is easily something you could knock out in way less than 66 days if you kind of just stick with it. But if you, want to make this a routine, log in, watch your video, and then in 66 days, you should be really good at command. And then,
Good.
so 56, using the command app for recently active and opportunities. So everything I've talked about, we kind of hopped around his 66 days. But still, this is a really good resource. You of course have me. Do I know about every single thing in command? Probably not, but I have been using it for a very long time. I was one of the first people to start using it, and my thing with Command, if you want to know how to learn it, just get in and mess with it, because that's really how I learned. We didn't have, the 66-day Command challenge back when I started using it. And somehow I learned it all. So let me stop the recording.